Hey everyone, it's Pam from Glam Junk Journals, and today is the 28th day of February, and I am so excited to be a part of the collaboration hosted by Rachel of Rach and Bella Crafts. This is Junk Journal Tips, Tricks, and Hacks 2023. The hashtag for that is JJ Tips, Tricks, Hacks 23, and I will put a link in the description box so you guys can check out all of the amazing collaborators and their videos. This is the final day of the collaboration, and I am so excited that it's my day. And here's what we're going to focus on today. I am going to focus on snippet rolls. I absolutely love snippet rolls, and I've got to be honest with you, I make one for every single journal that I'm working on. And the reason I do that is, number one, it's a scrap busting project, and I like to use the scraps and the offcuts of the paper and the fabric that I'm using in my current journal. And there are so many different ways to use snippet rolls in your journal. And I feel that snippet rolls create a cohesive look throughout the journal. And I think it's a great, efficient way to decorate your junk journals. So let's get right into it. I'd like to show you guys the various snippet rolls that we're going to be using today. And the first one is kind of a patchwork style. And this one is extra long. The next one is more of a shabby chic style. So I've added some additional lace and tulle to that one. And then the next one after that is a smaller version of this. And finally, we have the mini guy. Look at this cute little one. Oh, I just think that's adorable. So we're going to be incorporating all of these today. And I did want to mention that I have a tutorial on my channel on how I created these. If you want to go check it out, I will put a link below. So what I want to focus on first is the journal cover. So here is a journal that I'm currently working on, and as you can see along the spine, you can see the thread where I added my signature onto my cover. A lot of times I like to use snippet rolls to cover up that section right here. So look how cute this would be with the shabby chic snippet roll. I just think that adds a finishing touch, and it couldn't be simpler to come together. It just looks fabulous covering the spine. I love that. The next one is the journal closure. So what I've done is I've taken the shabby chic snippet roll and I've cut it to size so that it fits right around the journal, like so. So from there, what I like to do is add something onto the underside of my snippet roll, because to me this is not aesthetically pleasing. I don't care for the way it looks, but that's just personal preference. So there's some different options that you can use. Let's see, the first one I have here is some satin ribbon. You could also use some sari silk. You could use a long strip of fabric, some, whatever trim you want to use. And this is another option. I have a really long piece of extra wide seam binding, and I think I'm going to use this today. So I'm just going to find the center here, and I'm going to tack this onto the back of my snippet roll. And I'm just going to take my Fabri-Tac here and put a small amount across the center and tack this down like that. I just see already, I think that that looks 100 times better. And that there again, that's just personal preference. And another thing I wanted to mention is if you didn't want to do this all the way across the back, you could just cut a strip however long you want and just sew it onto the edges. So I am going to put this off to the side to dry, and we are going to continue on here. Now, another idea is the decorative spine. So what I've done is I've taken my patchwork snippet roll and I've cut 2 strips. And these are about, let's see, 3.5 inches long. And what I've done is I've sewn the raw edge where I cut the snippet roll off with the same decorative stitch as was used when I created this. So all you do is just glue them on to the side. I already think that that looks so cute. And from there, you know me, I'm all about adding embellishments. So you could add some additional lace or, you know, scrap fabric, whatever you want on the top. In addition to that, get out my little bling box here. You could put some buttons, a wax seal. You guys get the idea. Embellish it any way you like. And how adorable is that? Oh, I just love that. Love that. So there's another way to decorate your spine. And think of this. If you're doing an open spine journal where you can see the signatures underneath, these 2 same strips would be great going over the top. So there you have it. You can use these for your open spine journals. Let me show you. I think this is dry enough so that you can see how quickly and how adorable this comes together. Oh, just tying it in a bow, because I like bows, along the side there. And then from there, you've got additional space right here to add some ephemera, whatever you would like. And that just completes the journal. I just love that. Love it, love it, love it. So the next thing that I'm thinking about, let me move that out of the way, is I created a mini journal cover, and I'll show you what I did here. This is just some scrap papers and offcuts that I'm using in my current journal, and I thought, why not create a mini journal cover using your snippet roll? So there again, I took strips. I took 3 strips of my patchwork snippet roll, and I got stuck. I measured them to go around my journal, and I left maybe, this is probably almost an inch. Yeah, I cut it a little bit longer than the whole length of my journal, and I'll show you why in a minute. What I did after I cut the 3 strips is I glued them together so that they are the same width as my mini journal. And along the side, I did do the same decorative stitch. And what you could do with that is you could also add some additional trim or lace or whatever you want along the edges. So all you do is fold that over. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention is if you did want to add some fabric or something on the interior as a lining, I think that would be great, and I might do that with this particular piece right here. So you just fold it over like that, and I am going to take a safety pin and close my mini journal cover just like that. If I can get it through here. Come on. There we go. So cute. If I can get this to where I want it here. There we go. Like that. Look how cute this is. Ah, but think of this. Oh, of course, you could add some more snippet roll to, you know, across the middle, or you can even add some more of your snippet roll onto that spine. And in addition, oh, just go nuts. Go nuts with the embellishing, right? Oh, I just love this. Let's see, what else do we have here? Put that in the center there. I mean, isn't that the cutest thing ever? Oh, and what a great addition to your junk journal. Or this could be a standalone. This should just be a little mini guy that you want to have. So I love that. So we are going to continue on in just a second. The next ideas I have are for using snippet rolls in some creative ways to decorate your junk journal pages. So the first one is the page tab. If you remember, we created these little strips from the patchwork snippet roll, and we use those as hinges. Well, these could also be used as page tabs. So let me get out a page, or the journal that I'm currently working on, and this couldn't be simpler, and it just adds such a great touch to your page. So all I'm going to do is glue this onto the side of my page. So I'm going to put some Fabri-Tac all over the back just to get it secure onto the page. And then I'm just going to glue it onto the page, not all the way to the center, meaning I want to add just a little bit overhang, a little bit of overhang. And so that's what I think creates the tab look. So you can grab it and pull the page over. I mean, that just brings so much to a page, and it couldn't be any easier, right? And of course, you know me, more is more. So what about adding some additional embellishments onto your page tab? You could do that. Oh, that looks really pretty. I might do that. I don't know what I might do. That's a wax seal. You could do, you know, a button. But I think what I am going to do is just a little piece of this scrap trim. So I'm going to just cut that off and glue that right along the center there. Oh, and I just love these easy additions to your page. I love it. I absolutely love it. So there is the page tab. Next thing I'm thinking about is the snippet cluster. And there's a ton of different ways to make snippet clusters. And so what I did is I always like to use the offcuts and the things I've torn off of the page for the journal I'm working on, if I could get that out right. So what I did is I just layered a bunch of scrap paper and added some tulle, and I just sewed down the center. So as you guys know, you all save your scraps and your offcuts. This is a great scrap busting project. You can add as much or as little to that. You can add some lace and some fabric, or in this case, like I did, I added some tulle. So let's just do that, but we have to incorporate our snippet roll. So what I was using for this particular one is the smaller shabby chic snippet roll. And so I was playing around and I thought, why not add this to the other side of that page? And it just goes, even with the page tab, I think that looks fabulous. So I am just going to add a little bit that I cut off of the smaller shabby chic snippet roll. And we're going to put that right across the top here. And I like to do it a little bit off center, but there again, that's just personal preference. And then I'm going to glue that down. Just love how this looks. And you know, even if you don't have a specific journal in mind, these snippet rolls, or excuse me, snippet clusters using the snippet roll are great scrap busting projects. You could just make a ton of these with your offcuts. It's so fun. Now from here, you know me, I've got to add something to the center. So I was consulting my bling box again. Use a button, earring, that might be a little big. Another wax seal, that looks fabulous. But I think what I was going to use on this one is just a little earring. And so I'm going to attach that with E6000. I like to use E6000 whenever I'm attaching something heavier to my journal, like jewelry or, you know, something that has some weight to it. I just feel that E6000 is a very sturdy industrial type of glue, and I think it holds the best. Now if I can get some out here, put that right in the center, and I'm going to let that dry. So there's another idea for using your snippet roll. All right, moving on here. I'm going to move this out of the way for a second. Embellished paper clips. Love those too. So what I'm going to do is use the larger paper clip, and I did add a dangle on there. You know, that's totally optional. I just had one of these cute little guys that a friend of mine created for me, and we are going to use that with the snippet roll. So I'm choosing the large one here just because of the width of my snippet roll here, the patchwork style, and I am just going to thread it through the long end, not the short end right there, the long end. So we're going to thread that through, and it's just about the correct width. So doing this on camera is always, you know, kind of finicky, kind of fiddly on that. So depending on how long you want your snippet roll embellished paper clip to be, you can cut this to any length. So I kind of like it right there. So I'm going to cut that off right along the bottom there. And then I'm going to fray the edges. You could also sew the edges again, you know, if you've got a lot of extra and you wanted the finished look, but I kind of like that frayed edge right there. And then if you want it even on the back, just kind of even it up. And then we're going to glue that whole thing together. Couldn't be any easier. That down like that. Oh, is that adorable? Is that adorable? Oh man. And okay, you know me, embellished city, right? Where is my scraps? Here are some of my fabric and trim scraps that I'm using in my current journal. You don't have to do this. It's just something that I like to do. Put, you know, torn piece of lace, whatever you want over the top. I just think that that is the greatest. So I'm going to put that down. I don't know if you guys can hear this in the background. The wind just came up and we get some monster winds. So I apologize if you hear that in the background. sometimes the wind just comes whipping down through the valley where we're at in the mountains, and it is just crazy. So there you have it. There is another idea, and let's put that onto one of my pages. Okay, let me grab the journal back out here. And just add that to your page. Oh, look at how cute that is. Oh, I love that. And that, you know, lends itself to adding some additional ephemera, tags, whatever you want on the bottom. And then on the other side, same story, right? Oh, so stinking cute. I love that. So the next idea I have is still along the paperclip line, but we're going to do a hidden paperclip. So I was thinking of creating 2 today, and easy enough. So what I did is I took some more offcuts, and actually this is an off tear, if you want to call it that. This is some double-sided cardstock, and this is some wallpaper that I just put some scrapbook paper on the other side. There again, these are the colors that I'm using in my current journal, but this can be a scrap busting project. Just take out some strips of cardstock, wallpaper, whatever you have, and create these. They're so fun. So these particular strips that I have are about, they're about 7.5. So they're, 7.5 to 8. And the reason they're that long is we're just going to fold them in half. So with this particular journal, I'm doing the grungy look. So I'm going to fold it kind of off center, and the reason I'm doing that is so that you can see some of the underneath pattern. Now, there again, that's personal preference. You don't have to do that, and you could just fold it straight so that you have a more even look. That's perfectly awesome. And all you're going to do, seriously now, is to take your paper clip and put it over the top. Okay, and this is where the snippet roll comes in. This time I took a piece of the larger shabby chic snippet roll, and we're just going to glue that over the top. So I like to get I'm using Fabri-Tac again. I like to get a lot of glue around the paper clip. So we're going to do that on one side, and then flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Ta-da! Look at that! Oh! And then embellish to your heart's content, because that is my jam. I love to embellish. Oh, that looks really good. We're just going to put that on there. Okay. So I don't know if I need to use E6000, but I will, just because I had it out. Put my little wax seal on there. Okay. And then let's make a teeny one. Ooh, okay, whoops, I bumped the camera. Sorry about that. All right, so this particular one, I'm using one of the smaller paper clips. There again, this is some cardstock that I lined with some line paper because I like, you know, the little bit of off center where you can see some of it underneath. And that's just what I'm doing for this current journal. And then let's use the mini guy, the mini snippet roll. Just put that over and get my scissors out here. Where are my scissors? There they are. Just going to cut a little bit off of the snippet roll, and we're going to do the same thing. Oh, I love these. so quick to come together, right, you guys? Oh, are these cute? Look at these. I just love them. Absolutely love them. So let's get out the journal again and see how they look on a page. Let's see. Man, I'm loving this. Let me find a page here, you guys. Here we go. And then I'm just going to slide that down. Oh, look at that. Is that cool? Ooh, love it. All of these embellishments from my snippet rolls. Oh, this is so fabulous. Let's do the little guy. Let's do the little guy. Oh, and you could always put them, you know, I put this down. You could always put it sideways. So let's see how this looks on the side here. Get that going. Oh, it doesn't like this page. There, yes it does. No, it doesn't. Let me find another page. Come on now. I know you work. I know you do. There you go. Jeez. How cute. Look at that. Oh, love that. Oh, so there you have it. We went over page tabs, snippet clusters, embellished paper clips, and hidden paper clips. So we are going to be continuing on with more creative ways to use your snippet rolls. For this next idea, I am going to be using the littlest of the snippet rolls. So this mini snippet roll is less than an inch wide, and I want to create a tassel, or sometimes I call them page dangles. There are so many tutorials on how to do tassels and page dangles. This is something that works best for me because it's easy and it's quick to come together, and I love the results. So what I gathered is some varying laces and strips of fabric. So I've got some sari silk, I've got some fabric, some frayed edges, got some ribbon, some trim, some seam binding, and I'm just going to lay that all out. And I've also got some decorative pearls. Now I don't measure mine, but that's, you know, the way I like to do it. Totally, if you want to measure yours, that's perfectly awesome. So I'm just going to find the middle, and I can always cut these off later, you know, all these different ends here. So you're going to find the middle here. And what I want to do is have my snippet roll front and center so that you see it. So we're going to just place that on the top. And what I like to use is either a jump ring. I've got a ring that was off some jewelry. This is a broken earring. You could also use one of these bulldog clips. So there's so many different ways to do this, but let me show you what we're going to do right now. Is I have chosen this broken piece of jewelry. It was a really cute earring, but I just had one of them, so I'm like, okay, you know, take one for the team and go into my jewelry pile. So all I'm doing, you guys, is threading this through. Love this. And I just want to make sure I get it all in there. And then just going to pull it through so that I've got my snippet roll right in the middle so you can see it. I mean, doesn't that look good? Oh man. Yeah, and I'm going to cut the edges off later, meaning, you know, like this one's really long. So I'm going to do that. And all I'm going to do is tie a piece of string around the center. And you can use embroidery thread, you can use wax linen thread, whatever, twine, whatever works for you. So I am just going to wrap this around, and you want to get it a couple different times so that it is secure. I'm going to move that earring around there like that and pull it tight. And this is where another pair of hands would come in great, but that's okay. Just going to pull that tight, and I'm going to tie a knot if I can here. Pull that tight, and then do it again, and then just make a bow, because I like bows. And move that around. You can, probably will leave these little extra gold dangles on there, and I'm going to just cut off the edge here, the edges of what I'm trying to say is the ones that I feel are too long. But of course you have to save those, right? And there's a little bit of string there. Just going to keep going to see the way I like it. Get that string out of there. And there you have it. Oh, who knew you could create a tassel with a snippet roll? Someone's probably thought of that, but I've never seen it before, so I absolutely love this. Now you could do the same thing with these clips. Just thread all of your scrap pieces of fabric and lace through this end of the clip. And then when you attach it to your journal, you just flip this down like that. So there's another way to add that to your journal. So what do you do with this? How do you attach this to your journal? The easiest way that I found is using these bulb clips. And I absolutely think they are awesome. So I just attach that to the top and get my journal out here again. And you can just clip that to the side, wherever you want onto your journal. So there you have it. You have a page dangle or a tassel made with a snippet roll. Yay! We are on a roll. Sorry, I had to say that, pardon the pun, but we are on a roll with using snippet rolls. So the next idea I had was for page trim and a pocket tag embellishment. So let me get out a page from my journal here. And what I did is, there's a pocket right across the lower half. And what I did is I took my smaller snippet roll, not the teeny guy, but the next one smaller, and I just cut it the width of my pocket. I secured it on both sides with some Fabri-Tac, but I left the middle open. And so for that reason, you have another little tuck spot, to put some ephemera. And then what I like to do with all of my pages when I'm putting together my tags and all the ephemera on my pages, I like to add some additional bits of, say if I'm using fabric, or in this case a snippet roll, I like to add it to whatever tag or envelope or bit of ephemera that I'm using on that page. To me, it kind of makes the page go together like it was meant to be there. So in this particular case, I just cut a teeny bit of that same snippet roll, and I'm just going to put that in the back like that. So to me, that kind of brings the whole page together, and I love that. So that is just a great way to bring your pages together using the same snippet roll. And then think of this, the side trim, right? Just along the page. And the way, if you glue it down so that there's a little bit of space on the side, you've got room to tuck some more ephemera and tags and whatever you want. So that is awesome. I love that. So the next idea I have is what I'm calling belly bands ×2. And let me show you what I'm doing with that. Here, let me get out another journal page here. And so for this one, I did use the patchwork snippet roll, and I cut a piece that is the width of my page. And this could also be done vertically, so you know you have a belly band that goes vertically, but I am going to do one horizontally. And then I took some of the smaller snippet roll again, and I cut it so that it was a little bit shorter than the width of the patchwork. What you want to do then is take your awl or your pokey tool, whatever you have that can create a hole in fabric, and I'm just going to put a hole there and one underneath, and I'm going to push it almost all the way through just so that I can get a hole that is large enough to see, basically. And then I am going to take a brad and just put it through the hole like that. And just fold the backs down like that. And do the same thing on the other side. Got a big enough hole there so that I can see where to put my brad. That in there, like so. I know you go in there. Let me see. There we go. All right. Same thing here, just fold down the little tabs on the back. And then you have your belly band. Oh. Now, if you don't have brads, what could you use instead? You could use buttons. That would be really cute, or you don't have to use anything at all. I just like those little added touches on there. Now, this can also be along the side of your page, and you have there again, let me get my little ephemera out here, you know, a place to stick tags, whatever you want. I just absolutely love that. And they're so much fun. It is just wonderful. Yay! So far, we've been working with snippet rolls that have a certain color scheme to them. And what if you don't have a specific theme or a journal you're working on? Well, this is something that I like to do even when I don't have a specific journal in mind. I like to create a neutral colored snippet roll. And here is a shabby chic one that I created, and it was just using scrap pieces of lace and fabric. So there again, use up your scraps. I love having one of these on hand, and the versatility of this type of snippet roll is it can be catered and changed to work with any theme of journal that you have going or that you want to do in the future. I think it's wonderful. So for example, what if you were doing a holiday junk journal? Well, I've pulled out a bunch of my holiday colors and just a bunch of scraps, and these neutral snippet rolls take on whatever theme you want to use. So what I would do with this one, if I was creating a holiday theme, is just take some of my scraps along the top, and just I like to smush them down, you know, use the smush technique, and then you have an instant holiday snippet roll. Isn't that awesome? And I would just glue this down, maybe sew it, And you know me, add some additional embellishments on there, some beading, some lace, you know, some trim, whatever works for you. So there you go. Instant holiday. Okay, here's another one for you. What if you were doing a spring themed junk journal? We're coming up on spring. So I gathered a bunch of spring-like colors here. I'm just gonna put those across the front. You guys get the idea and how quickly this transforms into whatever type of journal theme you are working on. And I'm looking at this going, oh, I need to add some more. I need to add some more. But that's kind of how I roll. But then there you have it. Look at that. A spring themed snippet roll. So I highly encourage you guys to create a neutral snippet roll, because you'll always have this on hand, and you can do any of the ideas and the techniques that I showed you today with the neutral one and have it catered to whatever theme of journal you're working on. I just think these are incredible to have, and it's also fun when you just want to use up some of your scraps. It's always fun. These are the best. So in summary, today we have created a spine border, a mini journal cover, a journal closure, a decorative spine hinge or open spine, snippet clusters, page pocket and tag embellishments, side tucks, either single or double, hidden or embellished paper clips, page dangle or tassel, page tabs, belly bands ×2, and adding color and a specific theme to a neutral snippet roll. Can you believe we did 12 things with the snippet roll? But more importantly, I wanted to say thank you to Rachel of Rach and Bella Crafts for putting this whole collaboration together. It was a huge amount of work for her, and she just does it seemingly effortlessly, and it was so organized. She's so good at this. And also a huge thank you to each and every one of the collaborators. These people are amazing, and I know I'm going to be referring back to these videos in the future because I've learned a ton, and I know there's always more to learn by watching these videos again. So definitely keep this in your arsenal to refer back to, and if you haven't seen each of the videos, I highly encourage you to go back and watch them because they are truly incredible. So this has been the most wonderful collaboration, and I thank you all very much. I hope you enjoyed this, and have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.